John, I'll start with my favorite quotation from Paper Towns, that is, what a treacherous thing to believe that a person is more than a person. You, as a public person now, has a lot of fans, and they idealize you so much. They are always having an image of you, and that doesn't always fit with the reality.
Right.
How do you show your fans that you are a person like us, that you are a normal guy?
That's a great question, and I mean, certainly when I wrote that line, I was not thinking about myself, because it never occurred to me that that our videos would find such a broad audience, or that my books would find such a big audience. I was really thinking about the way that Q thinks of Margot, and how he realizes that it's been so destructive of him to idealize and romanticize her. But you're right. I mean, it is something that is in my life now. I'm really lucky that I think in general, my readers and the fans of our videos do see me as a person, and are very respectful and empathetic. I remember there was this very stressful signing in Paris a couple weeks ago, and it was really overwhelming, and people were kind of like crushing all around me and everything. And everybody kept saying that they were sorry, and that this must be very difficult for me. And I was thinking, like, no, it must be very difficult for you. Like, you can't, like, you don't get to have like a personal experience with with me, because all this stuff is happening. But yeah, they're just really empathetic toward me, and so I've been very lucky, I think. And part of that is because, I do have this ongoing conversation with our community, where I try to be as authentic to my experience as I can be, So when things are stressful or overwhelming, I try to acknowledge that, and people are really understanding. It's hard to make yourself vulnerable on the internet, particularly when you have a big audience, but I think people are almost always very kind.
It's a question by a Nerdfighter. Which Hogwarts house would you put your Paper Towns characters?
Oh, that's a good question. I think Margot would be a Slytherin, like good Slytherin. I don't think it's all bad to be a Slytherin. Yeah, there you go. She'd be like you. And then I think Q would be Ravenclaw, as would Justice, and then I think Ben would be a Hufflepuff, and Angela. Lacey would be a Gryffindor, and Angela would probably also be a Gryffindor. Great question.
Thank you. This is from a Nerdfighter from our group and Facebook. The other one is, if you were a cartographer, what a difficult word, which name would you put in your paper town?
Oh, that's a good question. I once found a paper town called Hole in, South Dakota, like, it's spelled Holen, but it's like Hole in, South Dakota. And I really like that as a paper town name, so I'd probably use Holen.
I want you to send a message for the Brazilian Nerdfighters, and we want to know about the Alaska book that was sent for you, and what would you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, that book is so special to me. It's one of my most prized possessions. If my house caught fire, it would be one of the very few things I would try to grab. It means a lot to me because, not only because so many people read it and annotated it, but because it kind of became a piece of the community, a piece of the Brazilian Nerdfighter community. And for me, it was really my first introduction into the strength of the Brazilian Nerdfighter community. I really feel it's very hard for me to even internalize how many people there are in Brazil who've read my books and supported them so kindly. And not only that, but like as it expanded, they've still been kind. They've still been kind to new people and welcoming to new people. Like, I always see that on the Facebook group, and it makes me so happy. And,
God, you see the Facebook group?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God.
So honestly, the reason I wanted to make this trip, and it was so important to me to come to Brazil to support the Paper Towns movie, was to say thank you. Thank you for reading my work. Thank you for making The Fault in Our Stars so successful here, forcing your parents and friends and aunts and uncles to go see it. It's made a huge difference in my life. It's also changed the way that I think about writing, because now when I think about writing, I don't just think about American readers. I think about the fact that there is this really strong community of readers of my books in Brazil, and that I should should try to write in a way that includes them and welcomes them into my stories as well. So I just feel very, very grateful to the Nerdfighter community of Brazil, to my readers in Brazil. It really is like no place else on earth, and the 2 days that I have spent here have been absolutely amazing. I have never seen a place like this. I have never felt as welcomed in a place like this, so I'll definitely be back.
Thank you, John. I'm so happy I met you.
Yeah, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Can I give you a hug?
Of course.
Thank you so much.